everyone. My name is Naveen Agrawal, and today I'm going to discuss about one of the important steps in building machine learning model, that is called data preprocessing step. So this is a complete cycle of it deploying a machine learning model. So first step would be defining the problem, and the second step would be the data preprocessing step that we will discuss about today. These are the important points that we are going to discuss today. Importing libraries, how to read the data, and how to handle the missing values, and how to handle the categorical values, what is feature scaling, what is PCA transformation, and data splitting. So these are the topics for our today's discussion. So basically, what is data preprocessing? Data preprocessing is a data mining technique that transforms raw data into an understandable format. Raw data, like our real world data, is always incomplete, and that data cannot be sent through a model, otherwise, it would cause certain errors or will predict the wrong results. That is why we need to pre process data before sending through a machine learning model. Now, what are the important libraries that we need to import before building the machine learning model? As main libraries, we are using Pandas, NumPy, Matplotlib, Seaborn, and scikit-learn for the discussion. First is Pandas. This is used for data manipulation and data analysis. NumPy, this is a fundamental package for scientific computing with the Python. Matplotlib or Seaborn, these are used for visualization purpose. Scikit-learn, this is used for data pre-processing techniques and the algorithms. This is a code for Python code for importing libraries. Now the second is how to read the data set. Reading data from a CSV file is a fundamental necessary in data science. Often we get data from various sources which can get exported to CSV format so that they can be used by other systems. The Pandas library provide a feature using which we can read the CSV file in full as well as in parts for only a selected group of rows and columns. In the Pandas, we have a read_CSV function, which is used to read the content of CSV file into Python environment as Pandas data frame. After that, we can apply the other functions. And this is a code for this reading the data from a CSV file. Now handling the missing values. Most often you will encounter a data set in your data science project where you will have missing data in at least one column. In some cases, you can just ignore that row by taking it out of the data set. But that will not be a case always. Sometimes that row would be the crucial for the training, maybe because the data set itself is very small and you cannot afford to lose any row, or maybe it holds some important data or for some other reason. Then there are many approaches to solve this problem, and one of them is by using scikit-learn package. There is a imputer class in the scikit-learn library that will be used to handle these missing values. Now let's discuss about the parameters that are used in this imputer class. First is missing values. In this, the value which has to be replaced in the data set. This could be either an integer or nan. If you don't pass this value nan will be the default value. So wherever we have nan in our data set, the imputer object will replace it with a new value. The second is strategy. This is the strategy we will be using to calculate the value, which has to replace the nan occurrences in the data set. There are basically three different strategies we can use. First is mean, which is the default one, the median, or the most frequent value. Third one is the axis. This can take one of the two values, either 0 or 1. This will decide if the imputer will apply the strategy along the rows or along the columns. 0 means columns and 1 for rows. And this is a Python code for this handling missing values. Now, handling the categorical values. So as you know, our machine learning models will always understand the numerical data. And if you have any categorical data or any text data in your column in any of the data set, then you have to convert that particular categorical data into numerical data basically. So to convert a categorical data or text data into numbers, which our predictive models can understand better, we use two encoders, which are the part of scikit-learn library in Python. So these two encoder class are called label encoder and one-hot encoder. So label encoder class from sklearn Python library will be used to encode the categorical values. And one-hot encoder class from sklearn Python library will be used to create dummy variables. Now let's understand them one by one. First, understand label encoder class. Suppose you have this type of data set in which in the first column you have country name, then age, then salary, and in the last you have the variable output. If you see in the country column, we have countries like France, Spain, and Germany, means we have three categories of countries. But these is the text data. Our machine learning model will not understand this type of data. So what we have to do, we have to create some categories basically in the numerical field like 0, 1, or 2. That means we have to encode them basically. And if you see after applying the label encoder class in this type of data frame, the output will be the first row that you see 0, 44, comma 72,000 like this. And the second row would be 2, 27. Here 0 stands for France, 2 stands for Spain, and 1 stands for Germany. So that means our label encoder class has encoded the values in the text field as a numerical values like 0, 1, and 2. Now, there is a problem that is attached with this label encoder class. The problem here is since there are different numbers in the same column, the model will misunderstand the data to be in the some kind of order like 0 is less than 1 or 1 is less than 2. But this is not the case at all. To overcome this problem, we use one hot encoder. So this is the result after applying the one hot encoder class. So basically what it does is it takes the values, how many categories are there in the country column. Like we have three categories of countries like France, Spain, and Germany. Same way, on the same way, it will add three dummy columns like one for France, one for Germany, and one for Spain. And wherever in the row we have the value France, it will put the value 1 in that dummy column France, and in the rest of the dummy columns it will put 0. Similarly, wherever we have the value Spain in the actual column, it will put the value Spain, it will put the value 1 in the Spain dummy column like this, so that there is no ordering of the values 0, 1, or 2 like this. So this can be done through one hot encoder class. And this is the Python code for applying one hot encoding and the label encoding. Now comes feature scaling. Feature scaling in machine learning is one of the most important steps during the pre-processing of data before creating a machine learning model. This can make a difference between a weak machine learning model and a strong one. Feature scaling refers to putting the values in the same range or same scale so that no variable is dominated by the other. So before we jump onto the various techniques of feature scaling, let us take some effort to understand why we need feature scaling. Only then we would be able to appreciate its importance. Let's understand feature scaling from this example. Suppose you have this type of data set in which you have city name, population, and the average age. Population and average age are the two feature variables. And if you see the value in the population column 54,000 like and in the average age column like 51.7 years, so there is a huge difference between them. So, what our machine learning model thinks like population column or population variable is much more importance than the average because the value is much higher, right? So, the population cannot have a meaningful, basically, meaningful comparison with the average age. So the algorithm makes an assumption that since 54,000 is greater than 51.7 or 78,000 is greater than 57.1, therefore population is more important feature than the average age, which is fundamentally incorrect because all the features are equally important. So basically, most of the machine learning model works on the Euclidean distance. And this is the formula to calculate the Euclidean distance. Now there are two important methods basically through which we can handle this feature scaling. Basically these are the two methods. One is standardization and second is normalization. Let's discuss them in detail. Standardize or normalize the data. Data normalization or standardization is defined as the process of rescaling the original data without changing its behavior or nature. We define new boundary, most commonly between 0 to 1 or -1 to 1, and convert the data accordingly. Data normalization technique is useful in classification algorithms involving neural networks or distance-based algorithms like KNN or k-means. Now discuss about the normalization. So normalization is a scaling technique in which values are shifted and rescaled so that they end up ranging between 0 and 1. It is also known as min-max scaling. You can see the formula for min-max scaling here. And this is example for normalization in Python. Now standardization. Standardization is another scaling technique where the values are centered around the mean with a unit standard deviation. This means that the mean of the attribute becomes 0 and the resultant distribution has a unit standard deviation. You can see the formula over here where mean and standard deviation is used. And this is example for standardization in Python. Now, the big question is whether you should go for normalize or standardize your data, right? So you need to consider 2 points before picking any one of them. Normalization is good to use when you know the distribution of your data does not follow a Gaussian distribution or the you can say normal distribution bell curve shaped data. This can be useful in algorithms that do not assume any distribution of the data like k nearest neighbors and neural networks. On the other hand, standardization can be helpful in cases where the data follows a Gaussian distribution. However, this does not have to be true always. Also, unlike normalization, standardization does not have a bounding range. So, even if you have other outliers in your data, that will not be affected by the standardization. Now, the next topic is PCA transformation. The main idea of principal component analysis is to reduce the dimensionality of a dataset consisting of many variables correlated with each other, either heavily or lightly, while retaining the variation present in the dataset up to the maximum extent. The same is done by transforming the variables to a new set of variables, which are known as principal components or simply PCs. If you understand it in the layman term, it is a method of summarizing data basically, while retaining the essence of the original data. Now understand what is data splitting. We use training data to train our model. After supplying training data, now it is a time to test that how much our model has learned from the data. Just like as humans in college, after we learn our subjects, we are required to give the test to clear the subject. We test our model by supplying the feature variables to our model, and in turn, we see the value of the target variable predicted by our model. We generally take a minor portion of the whole dataset as the test set, which is generally 20 or 30% of the complete dataset. Data splitting. There is a class train underscore test underscore split in the sklearn library, which is used for splitting data arrays into two subsets for training data and for the testing data. With this function, you don't need to divide the dataset manually. By default, train test split will make random partitions for the two subset. However, you can also specify a random state for the operation. Now let's understand the parameters that train test split takes. First is test size. This parameter decides the size of the data that has to be split as a test data set. This is given as a fraction. For example, if you pass zero point 0.5 as the value, the data set will split 50% as the test data set. If you are specifying this parameter, you can ignore the next parameter. Next is train size. You have to specify this parameter only if you are not specifying the test size. This is the same as test size, but instead you tell the class what percent of the data set you want to split as the training set. The last one is random state. Here you pass an integer which will act as a seed for the random number generated during the split. And this is the code for data splitting in Python. Now let's see the summary what we have learned in this discussion. We have learned about how to import libraries in Python, how to read the data from the external CSV file in Python, handling missing values in data frame using imputer class, handling categorical data using label encoder and one hot encoder class, feature scaling method like standardization and normalization, PCA transformation for dimensionality reduction, and in the last we saw data splitting into train and test sets. So this is all about the data pre-processing step, which is one of the most important steps. So if you have any doubt or if you have any queries or if you want to learn more about machine learning or data science, then you can contact me on this email ID or phone number. Thank you.